justify rolling out the big guns, you know, and the big MRAP vehicles. They can't justify that maneuver right now, especially when it's peaceful protesting and the world is watching and they're saying, well, you know, they're not rioting, but there's a lot of people there still 3 months later protesting the fact that they don't feel like their community has been delivered any justice with this decision. So it seems like they are incrementally agitating them.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it's appeared to be so far since we've been out here. Even and earlier last week when there was really no problems going on, once the police came out and showed up in full riot gear and then started basically interacting with the crowds, that's when stuff happened. That's when the arrests were made and, you know, tensions would rise. But when you see them hold back and hold restraint, the crowd protests and then eventually they get tired and they go home. It's just when someone throws that first bottle or the police push the wrong person and it's some guy's girlfriend and it pops off and then, you know, it's held from there.
Wow.
But they want someone to jump. Someone wants someone to jump and do something.
Right. It's pretty scary. I remember being there when we were covering JFK, and that's exactly what was happening to us, just incrementally being pushed and corralled and kenneled. Have
you got, is Jakari within sight of you there, or are you guys together, or you know where
yeah,
there he is? Okay.
You got on my feed, he's right here.
Yeah, there he is, okay. Just want to make sure he's okay. We're just concerned about you guys.
Yeah, we're using this a giant tear deck thing that makes our camera look like a transformer.
It got some excellent footage, though. You guys got some really good stuff.
You guys only saw a smidgen.
Oh, yeah, I bet.
There's so much golden footage that from last night, it'll take a long time to get all that out.
How late did you guys go last night before you shut it down?
Right around midnight. I mean, at that point, we knew, I mean, we're not going to see anything else, anything any different that had already happened at that point. And
we found some interesting feed on YouTube. He's got 4 feeds going at once, a Twitter feed and then 3 cameras, one of which is ours. Looks like he has one of ours. At one point, he had Jakari's stream. So it's pretty interesting. All the media out there, everybody's out doing something right now. So
yeah, there was a foreign media, Dutch media, that came up and spoke to me earlier, and they were out here doing reports about the rise in alternative media, you know, using cell phones to cover stuff live, and you know, not having that huge mainstream media backing that they have. You know, they're able to pay for all the high-speed equipment, and they have all that government money to really boost their production value up. And you know, their amazement is the fact that, you know, we don't have that kind of money and we're able to push out essentially the same quality reporting, same reports, you know, with great or better graphics and things like that. So
well, we also don't have somebody above us shutting it down if we get into some area that they're not comfortable with. That's the key thing too.
Well, you got to remember back in August when Jakari, Josh, and I got out here, we were the first people to be doing that live streaming at that time.
Yeah.
And it really inspired, from what I heard. I have people come to me all the time, and they're like, man, I've never done that before. That looks really neat. What do you have to do? And I was like, all you need is a phone and a way to charge the battery and just go out and tell the world your opinion about stuff. And I think it's a great thing that,
yes,
you know, it's sparked this rise in citizen journalists. Anybody can go out and really just show people what's going on. You don't
absolutely
have the mainstream media anymore and hear their narratives. And, you know, and like I said earlier, Fox News, they always say Michael Brown, the black teenager. They say Darren Wilson, the white police officer. They can't say that a police officer shot a young, unarmed man.
Yeah.
You know, they always want to create that racial division between everything.
That's right.
It's just one of the things that citizen journalists, they don't have to do that. They can go out and really be unbiased and go out there and give the truth.
You know, it's very important because we all know that the government, the NSA, is watching everything we do from a million different cameras. I think it's important that they know that we're watching them back. And one of the ways that we can really effectively do that is with live streaming. Put that up there. If they get it up, if they need to get it before a larger audience, of course, they can always contact us. And, you know, we can make that video go viral if it's really important. We can get that out there.
It's interesting. There's a group of 3 people that come out from time to time, and they're National Guard or maybe they're regular Army, but they come out and they start filming the crowd for a while, and then it looks like they go behind the line of the National Guard guys, have a discussion, go back and leave. So I don't know what they're doing, if they're trying to get footage of what they think are potential agitators or what, but there's been a lot more use of cameras on both sides now, not just the citizen journalists and the mainstream media and alternative media out here. It looks like the police and the military as well are starting to record everything going on.
Oh yeah.
I guess that's,
and part of that, Joe, is deliberate intimidation as well. I remember when we were at Bilderberg, they deliberately came out in uniform, the cops, and got very close to us, got in our faces and took pictures of us, and then we were taking pictures of them. So it's kind of interesting to step back and take a picture of essentially the standoff there between the journalists and the government.
Right, and that's...
Biggs, what about the crowd's reaction to the independent media versus the mainstream media? Do you think they're more receptive, knowing that you're with INFOWARS and they don't trust the mainstream?
They were last night, because like I said, I was almost mugged by someone. The guy ran up to me when I was on West Florissant, and he kind of like grabbed my shoulder, and I spun around, and he saw the INFOWARS on my mic, and he goes, "Oh, okay, I don't mess with you guys are cool," and then took off running and looking for other people. So I don't know if that means we have good street cred, but apparently today we don't, because I don't condone the burning of buildings and destroying a neighborhood. So I guess that makes me now an enemy.
Right, someone had his camera stolen as he was live streaming, and so it was actually live streaming him getting his camera stolen, and the person running really fast down the street.
That was the guy, Bassem Masri.
Yeah.
You'll see him quite a bit. He's been doing some interviews on CNN. He's a local citizen journalist who's been out here from the get-go. And from what I heard last night, that was a gentleman who had his phone taken from him.
Yes, it was.
Yep.
Yeah, and I get a lot of people on Twitter saying, Leanne, why are you saying this? And Paul is saying that, and Joe is saying this, and Alex is saying that. Why are you all allowed to, Alex must be mad that you don't all say the same exact thing, but that is the beauty of being here at INFOWARS. We don't have someone controlling the narrative here, telling us what to say. Right.
We don't have a teleprompter. We don't have a meeting where everybody tells us this is a line we're going to take, and we all have a little bit different take on this. I mean, I look at this, and I'm trying to not get caught up in the overly caught up in the details, but take the big picture, because there are so many cases. I think that's a key thing we need to keep hammering. So there's so many cases where there are clear-cut abuse of police power, and we see this across the nation. Something needs to be done to address that. It's not specifically Ferguson. It's not just this cop and that young man that's involved. We need to look at the bigger picture, because it is being driven. There's a national agenda behind this that's coming out of Washington, that's coming out of the Obama administration, out of Eric Holder's office. It's really disingenuous for Eric Holder to come down there to Ferguson when they're the ones who are driving these rules of engagement. They could be shutting it down if they didn't want to do that.
Right.
It looks like they're doing another shift change right now. There's more National Guard coming in. They're switching out behind the shields, and I guess they're going to reinforce the line and give these guys up here a chance to get a breather. But we're out here on the ground. We don't get any breathers.
Yeah, exactly. You guys have been out there for at least a week now.
I don't get to warm up until about 1 or 2 a.m. and then in a few hours I'll be back at it again.
Yeah, and the protesters have been out there for months, so that's wearing everyone down. But that's kind of the thing, like, what happens next? And that's what they're really, talking about, controlling this narrative, controlling the agenda, controlling the message, controlling what's happening here at Ferguson. Because what happens next? Do people just end this here with Ferguson, always thinking about a black man was killed by a white cop, and then people started burning down buildings and it got out of control? Or do we continue to speak about reining in a militarized police force and rules of engagement for the police there with the people that they're supposed to be protecting and serving?
Well, long before that happens, they'll create another crisis and move it off of this.
One of the biggest things, though, is we can't trust the police officers to
investigate
to do
themselves.
to do the right thing as well. I mean, we as citizens need to know our rights to the T and point out when they do that and be like, hey, what you're doing is wrong. Like I always tell people, if I get pulled over, if I stop, I start recording everything, just for my safety and for their safety as well. But you don't know if this guy was allowed to cheat on some of his tests. You don't know if he knows everything. You don't know what his beliefs or backgrounds are. So as a citizen, you have to be armed with the Constitution. You need to know your rights, and that's the only way to really make it out here without getting screwed over.
And of course, people do that in Keene, New Hampshire, as part of the Free State Project in that particular city. They're watching each other's back, so they have a network. If you get pulled over by the cops for some minor traffic violation or whatever, the call goes out, and your friends and neighbors show up to watch your back, to film the encounter, to ask the police, who's the victim here? Because really there isn't a victim in these kind of traffic stops. So it's very important for us to stand together, to know our rights. And as I pointed out before, one of the main goals that we need to see in every one of these communities is we need to talk about what the mission of the police is going to be, and we need to set up permanent independent commissions like Frank Serpico pointed out. He's somebody who has been a part of this. He has seen the system from inside out. He's seen the system turn against him. He knows as well as we do, because we've seen this over and over again. The system, the government will not investigate itself honestly. It will always exonerate itself, no matter what. And that's what we saw here again. We saw this done, the government investigating itself, doing it in secret, and then releasing the information in a way that was calculated to create division.
Right.
And that's really the
character.
Yeah, that's really the story here at Ferguson.
Yeah, we need to make sure we can repost the Frank Serpico rules.
Well, we need to get Frank Serpico on. He's been on the Alex Jones show many times, and we're trying to get him on, but he's a difficult guy to reach.
I
think he makes it a little bit difficult to reach him for good reasons. So we'll see.
Some pretty good answers.
Let's go back to the feed there and see what's going on there, guys. What's happening?
I mean, they're still letting cars come through. I can't believe this. Look at this. I mean, they're starting to line up now.
Because they're thinking, maybe they'll, tip one of these cars over, or someone will finally bash in a window, and then we can move in with our tanks. I mean...
Well, I just don't get, especially if you're in this area and you drive down this road, you have to have seen the news of what's been going on. I mean, I would stay very clear of this road just in case my car is the next one to get lit on fire or flipped over.
Right.
One of the things, too, I want to pass this on to you, Joe, when we were talking to the experienced firefighter, Ken Moran. He said, make sure you guys wear your masks when there are fires there, because there are a lot of things that you will not see, you will not smell, that can cause a lot of permanent damage to you. So make sure you always put those masks on if you see a fire, whether or not you see smoke or smell anything.
Dude, it's nerve damage.
I heard that. Yeah, I heard him say that.
Okay, good. All right.
Keep that in mind.
Yeah. Yep. Just shout loud, and we'll hear you through the gas mask.
Yeah. Were you guys able to hear me pretty good last night when I was screaming?
Yeah, we could hear you. You didn't need to take it off. Yeah.
I was wondering whether or not I was going to be able to talk today, because I had to really amp it up a few notches.
We need to rig those things with an internal mic.
Yeah, I know. I'm going to have to work on that when I get back.
Yeah, why don't we go to...
Everything's pretty cool. Everything's pretty calm so far.
All right, let's take a quick break, and we're going to be right back. Stay with us. We've got live feed from Ferguson, Missouri. Joe Biggs and Shakari Jackson.
The facts are in. The studies are legion. Sodium fluoride and other members of the fluorine family that are added to Western water supplies are devastating the health and cognitive ability of the people that drink it. So the question is, why are the social engineers adding it to the water? Simple. Dumb down the host population that the parasitic technocracy is feeding on. We developed the Fluoride Shield to be the highest quality, highest standards, because I use it every day and my family uses it every single day. Let's take a closer look at the ingredients that make up this special proprietary formula. Tamarind has been celebrated for its ability to immobilize toxic fluoride residues, while zeolites have a long history of attracting and holding toxic compounds. Enter fulvic acid, an excellent cleansing agent. Then we added the highest quality shilajit, a rare compound that is collected from the high mountains of the Himalayas. We topped it all off with the powerhouse herb cilantro that is intended to mobilize fluoride and other dangerous compounds for removal from the body.